So I caution the government of Israel not to be blinded by rage. It would be a mistake for Israel to occupy Gaza again.
We do not want to see a major operation happening in Rafah.
That's been the story so far. Biden draws a red line, Israel crosses it with no consequences. First, it was civilian casualties. Then it was the occupation of Gaza. Then attacking Rafah. And frankly, we have lost count of the red lines. There's a new one every 2 months. This time it's about Iran. Israel is planning to escalate after Tuesday's missile attack. Reports say they could hit Iran's nuclear sites, but Joe Biden is against it. He says the response should be proportional.
Would you support an attack on Iran's nuclear sites by Israel?
The answer is no. I think there's things. We'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all 7 of us agree that they have a right to respond, but they should respond and enforce it.
Let me explain the thinking here. For Netanyahu, this is a career-defining chance to dismantle Iran's nuclear program. All his mistakes in the last 1 year would be forgiven. His legacy would be set for life. Just one problem, though. He can't do it alone. If Iran hits back, he needs an insurance plan. He needs someone to shield his country, and that is the United States of America. If Biden privately or publicly backs such an attack, Israel will go ahead. There are no second thoughts. But if he doesn't, Israel may have to rethink. At least that is Biden's assumption. The question is, will it work? We ask because it hasn't in the past. It hasn't worked in the past. In October last year, Biden asked Israel to protect Gazan civilians. More than 40,000 are dead now. He then told Israel to not occupy Gaza. Last we checked, Israel's military controls the entire Gaza Strip. Biden then asked Netanyahu to not invade Rafah. Today, Rafah is a ghost town. Only concrete and metal debris remains. And finally, he asked Netanyahu to not attack Lebanon, to take a ceasefire deal. And again, Israel ignored him. Right now, Israeli soldiers are battling the Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, meaning they have invaded. So looking at the past, one thing is quite clear. Israel is more than willing to ignore Joe Biden's warnings. But why is that? Most of Israel's weapons, after all, come from the US. Washington is their most important ally. So how can Netanyahu just keep ignoring him? Well, he can because of Biden's weakness. You see, a red line requires 2 conditions. A, there should be only one. Multiple red lines defeat the whole purpose of a red line. And B, you must enforce it. Biden did not meet either condition. He revealed his hand in March this year. The president was asked about Israel invading Rafah. Listen to his response.
It is a red line, but I'm never going to leave Israel. The defense of Israel is still critical, so there's no red line. I'm going to cut off all weapons so they don't have the Iron Dome to protect them.
So he made it pretty clear America will never abandon Israel. Secondly, he couldn't enforce his red lines. There are many ways to do it. You can stop military sales, you can stop shielding Israel at the United Nations Security Council, but Joe Biden did not do any of that. He stopped 1 military shipment in the month of May this year. That's it, 1 shipment. 50,000 tons of aid given, just 1 shipment withheld. Honestly, it is humiliating for Biden. He's supposed to be the most powerful person in the world, yet Netanyahu took him for a ride. Could this time be any different? Well, on paper, there is more at stake. Iran is more powerful than Hezbollah or Hamas. They could even strike American assets. More than 43,000 US soldiers are deployed in West Asia. If the conflict widens, they could be targeted. Biden will want to avoid that in the middle of an escalation. The last thing he needs is an attack on US soldiers. At the same time, he cannot look weak, especially with Donald Trump in the picture.
The world right now is spiraling out of control. I've been talking about World War III for a long time, and I don't want to make predictions because the predictions always come true. We have a non-existent president and a non-existent vice president who should be in charge, but nobody knows what's going on.
That's the challenge for Joe Biden. This is probably the most important red line he's drawn. But is he willing to enforce it? Netanyahu is reportedly planning to escalate within days. So we'll have the answer soon.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.